We want to turn our attention to our other big trial in Florida, where the plaintiff has rested its case in chief for Maya Kowalski. Joining us to get up to speed on what's been happening inside that courtroom, of course, is our Court TV legal correspondent, Chanley Painter. Chanley, always great to have you on. You've been there covering this trial live inside the courtroom. So what is the latest now that the defense has to begin its case?
The attorneys for Maya Kowalski rested their case in chief earlier this afternoon after calling more than 40 witnesses. And then the defense put on its first witness. It was actually through a pre-recorded deposition of Dr. James Lewis, who is a neuropsychologist. He spent about 3 hours with Maya, and in his estimation, he found some evidence to support Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Let's watch part of his testimony.
She was telling me some very specific information about her emotional and psychological distress that pertained to her mother. And she was also describing her belief that her mother had a completely different source of psychological distress. I have never seen a single case of Munchausen by proxy where either the child or the mother or both did not have some underlying psychological distress, psychological disorder, major emotional condition that failed to be evaluated by the treating doctors.
She allegedly mentioned something about her mother being abused. Is that what you're referencing?
When you say she told me. It isn't alleged, she told me.
Okay.
She didn't allegedly tell me. Is that what you're saying? She allegedly told me that I made it up? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying there are conflicting reports from Maya Kowalski herself about what was discussed.
Well, I know what she told me, and it wasn't just that she believed her mother was abused.
And Michael and Ashley, right now inside this courthouse, the jurors are gone and the attorneys are battling out the defense's motion for directed verdict on several of the counts the plaintiffs are alleging at this phase of the trial right now. I'm hearing the attorneys for the hospital say that they can't be blamed for what the state did or what state action was in this case. So far, the judge has taken a couple of counts under advisement and denied others. So that's what's transpiring currently.
All right, now, Chanley, primacy, recency, in the words of my esteemed co-anchor. She loves to say that. So explain to us how the plaintiffs ended up their case.
It was a powerful way, really, this morning for the plaintiffs to wrap up their case with an expert on suicide, a Dr. Scott Richard, who testified remotely for the jury, to draw his conclusions on what factors led to, in his expert opinion, the state of mind of Beata Kowalski leading up to her death by suicide. He concluded that Maya's mother was someone who had this irresistible impulse to take her own life to rescue her daughter from the, quote, maltreatment of the hospital. Let's watch.
That she had total control taken away from her in a variety of areas of her life. She had her personal life taken away. Her professional life was challenged. She was threatened with potential legal action. She was accused of things doing to her daughter. She had her integrity challenged. She had her marital situation apparently challenged at some point by the hospital to her husband. She was unable to touch her child, see her child. She had limitations on her ability to control her world. When we lose control of life, that's an overwhelming situation. It is my professional opinion that the treatment of Maya Kowalski was a direct factor in the causative effects of Beata Kowalski's suicide.
Regarding the interference in phone calls, certainly if it was not Kathy Biddy's voice on the phone, she would not be a factor in the interference. True?
I'm not a vocal expert. I was given the calls stating that this was the voices of individual people.
She committed suicide as the last act to end the separation. That's what you're telling us.
No. I'm telling you that she committed the suicide to rescue her child.
From the separation at the hospital.
From the maltreatment at the hospital. The decision was to end her life to get her daughter safe.
And before the plaintiffs rested, Maya's father, Jack, once again retook the stand, Michael and Ashley, to confirm that he indeed did share all of the negative information with his wife, Beata, before her death by suicide, including the fact that Catherine Beatty approached him about divorcing her right before she died.
Wow, that witness key in that cause and effect that the plaintiff has to show. Tell us, Chanley, what's up next in this case?
Well, the defense case will roll on likely through the rest of this week. We can expect to hear from medical doctors at Johns Hopkins as well as social workers with the Department of Children and Families here in the state of Florida. But a big witness that we heard that they are going to call possibly later this week in person now is Dr. Sally Smith. Remember, the plaintiffs played her deposition in their case in chief, but the hospital attorneys want to now call her in person. She's critical for really both sides because, again, the plaintiffs say she was the one that essentially initiated these claims of abuse, felt that Beata was medically abusing Maya Kowalski, and they said that she inappropriately interfered with her care there at the hospital during that time. So what will the defense get out of her? It's going to be a big witness coming up, likely later this week, guys.
All right.